fear I have that it will entrench division here in Northern Ireland, that we will have a sectarian headcount, people will be driven to their trenches, and that will not be good. And the outcome at the end of the election is not going to fix the problems we've got now.
We know that elections in Northern Ireland do not solve problems, they deepen the crisis. Right now there is one issue that is preventing us from restoring the Assembly.
The absence of an Assembly chamber won't influence that, but what it will do is make life worse for people across this society. That session in there today felt like a wake for power sharing.
Political voices full of frustration at the situation now facing politics in Northern Ireland. Stormont once again finds itself as a tourist attraction. The only visitors it's getting are those that's interested in history and architecture. The government here collapsed at the end of October because of legislation that ensured that there would be ministers in place up to 6 months after an election. Chris Heaton-Harris has said he will not call an election this side of Christmas. But what does that mean to the ordinary people of Northern Ireland?
Well, I believe there's principles in life that you should hold to. But when the people of the country need help, now's the time to lay those principles aside and to say, right, let's help the people.
Do you really want the truth? Yeah. It doesn't matter whether they're there or not.
But you need to stick it back and tell it. So they do. People out there are struggling. Can't afford to heat their house, food and all coming in.
Government or not, life goes on, and local councils will continue to do what they have done for years and ensure our everyday needs are met. But with rising costs, it's feared business rates will rise. Glenn Roberts from Retail NI is worried about the situation.
We have written out to all 11 councils, all 11 council chief executives, urging them when they strike their own rate to make it as low as possible. We have heard rumours that some councils are thinking of a 12.5%, an inflation-busting rise, and for many working families and businesses, that simply is unaffordable. And that is a reality that councils, they need to cut their cloth and be more realistic in how they approach the issue of rates.
A budget for the province must now be struck, and with a hole in the finances, meetings with the government have already happened.
Well, we had a good meeting with the Secretary of State last week, and we continue to engage with him and his team on this. I think a big ask to the Chancellor ahead of the statement in a few weeks' time is that further business support is needed. And we've said that we need the business rates holiday reintroduced that we had during COVID.
The largest casualties here will be the large infrastructure projects. More about how we get around rather than how we get on. Dougie Beattie, GB News, Belfast.